I want to bring in CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez, who's in Orlando, Florida, doing great work out there, Manny. Give us a sense of what it's like where you are right now.
Thank you, Jerika. You can see all the standing water around us, and unfortunately, it has started to rain again, just adding to the misery, adding to the water here. I don't know if you'll be able to make out all the way down at the end of the road. We just had a resident who decided to try to get to a home on a
Oh,
kayak.
wow.
You wouldn't really know this was a road the way it looks right now, but there are mailboxes lining this route there. That gives you an indication not only of the fact that there he goes into one of the properties, not only the fact that, yes, this is a neighborhood, but also of how high the water came. It's to that level on the mailboxes. Deputies said when they arrived in this neighborhood, the water was chest deep, and they tried to get people out of those homes, but the people wanted to stay. That's clearly not the story we're hearing along the coast, especially on the West Coast, which took a direct hit, where there were water rescues today and where officials are still assessing the damage. Orlando was not hit as hard, but as you can see, that doesn't mean that the city was completely unscathed. There are trees down, power lines down, and power outages reported throughout this metro area. So it could be days before people are really back on their feet on the power situation here in Orlando. But on the West Coast, where you had the storm surge really just destroy infrastructure, clearly it's going to take a lot more time.
Manny, are you getting any indication of how long people will be expected to go without power? I know there's about 3 million folks that don't have electricity right now.
Yeah, at the height, it was really more than 3 million people. You know, the governor has said that they try to pre-position some of those power crews in these areas so that they could get to work as quickly as possible. So in a place like Orlando, where you have the local crews starting to do that work, it may not take that long. But along the coast there, you have to remember that they were already hard hit by Helene. So any kind of advancements and repairs that were being done may have been wiped away. Now they're starting from scratch. So in some of those really hard hit areas, based on our experiences with other hurricanes that have hit Florida and even other areas as we saw in North Carolina, is that really when you're talking about infrastructure being down,
Yeah.
it could be a matter of weeks to months before people really have a reliable source of power again.
That's tough. And we talk about the search and rescue teams out there, but what resources are being provided to residents at this hour?
Yeah, you know, here they're kind of doing their own thing. The deputies approached them, asked them what they needed. They said, "We're good. We're good on our own." But we do know that, really, in anticipation of the storm, the governor and the Biden administration, trying to put politics aside best they could, did reference the fact that they were cooperating and getting all the resources that they needed into these areas. How that will work out in the long term when people need long-term assistance, when the insurance companies may be giving them problems, when the people finding out that they may not have been covered for what they thought they were, wind or flood. Those are the kinds of problems that last for months after these storms, and those could be, we could get a repeat of what people have dealt with at other storms, such as Ian 2 years ago, which kind of crossed across this area as well.
Yeah, and Manny, when people think of Orlando, they naturally always go to Disney World and Universal Studios, SeaWorld. Those are big employers bringing a lot of money. But what are you hearing in terms of the expectation for these major theme parks to possibly reopen and the economic impact that that has had on the area?
Right. Yeah, such a huge economic engine for this area. The real big delay or interruption was today. They decided protectively to close, and they adjusted their hours yesterday. The sense we're getting from Disney and some of these major attractions is that they will assess the parks today and possibly reopen tomorrow. The
Wow.
airport here, Orlando's airport, which closed at 8 a.m. yesterday, is going to try to open tonight to some domestic flights. Tampa's airport, I believe they were going to try to open on Friday. So they're trying to get things back online as quickly as possible. But again, it has to be done as safely as possible and not get in the way of any of the search and rescue or any of the repairs and clearing away of debris that's happening.
Absolutely. Manuel Bojorquez in Orlando, thank you so much.